Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, you're listening to World Combat Sports. What's good, man? Hey, hopefully everyone is out there enjoying the beginning of the work week. It's Monday, the day that everybody dreads. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to just coming off that weekend, some of us have more fun than others. And then you got to jump in the damn work mode, professionalism, and show up to work. Hey, politics is not something I do, but this is not really about the politics, y'all. I just want to refresh your memory on what we had to experience on the back end of arguably one of the worst presidents in the history of the United States. People forget certain things that was taking place with immigration. People forget that kids were separated from their family. A lot of people choose to ignore, rather, not forget. They choose to ignore everything that was taking place with the wall. You know what I'm saying? The wall was the main concern. Wall. Build the wall. That's what was the main concern. Build the wall. You know how many kids? I mean, could you imagine being a kid, being snatched away from your parents? Coming from a place where you're trying to make it into the land of the free, as they call it, for better opportunity. You've been dreaming about this place. You might have had some friends over there that's been telling you it would be a much better home if you're able to make it here. The travels that happens every day with these people risking their lives, right? And to see these individuals put in cages and to see them at the deportation stations, separated from their family, don't even know where their family is at, don't know when they're going to return to their family. It was bad, yo. Oh man, it was extremely bad. Like, this was tough to watch because I couldn't imagine being separated from my kid, trying to make a better living, trying to make it over here to the US of A, and being, detained and everything. But we are around 48 hours from this 46th inauguration, man. And to be honest with you, from what happened with them storming the Capitol and all these individuals that call themselves patriots and everything, I believe it's still something out there. Because for one, if you're going to have a rally that huge, you're going to have a rally of that magnitude with the amount of numbers that they had. And for them to leave one location and head directly to the next with minimal security in place. Minimal security. I'm talking about the perimeters were breached with ease. You could have sent some teenagers over there with no military experience, and they could have breached those perimeters with pretty decent numbers. Now, if you showed up with like 3, then you might have a problem. But these individuals went over to the Capitol and they breached these perimeters with ease. It didn't matter what side of the Capitol or what area, you had law enforcement at. It was a poor planning process, man, and people lost their lives and was injured because of it. So from what I'm hearing, out of the mass mob of vigilantes that was up there, right? I'm hearing it's like only 90 or so forth. About 90 has been arrested. 90 to some people might seem like a lot, but to me, that ain't shit. Apart from what we had, I mean, that's absolutely small beans. When you look at the scope of the entire mass that was there. I mean, like, they destroyed equipment. They destroyed federal property. They injured peace officers up there. The push into that was a bunch of rowdy individuals with no organization, no leader. They call themselves going over to the Capitol to protect and fight for a leader that's about to be, released from office. So they thought them going over there stopping a vote was going to be something that was permanent. And we all know that shit wasn't going to be permanent. It was on a matter of time. See, people don't understand. Like this local stuff right here that's going on with these mob of people rushing in there on U.S. soil and federal property. You would have did that shit in country, and we got the green light to shoot your ass. You wouldn't even never seen the rounds coming. You never would have seen it coming. If the commander, whoever's in charge, was there to say, you know what, security's been breached, and they changed levels on your ass and start doing air to ground or sending the ground troops to take over. We're gonna follow the proper procedures. But if there was really a threat, I'm talking about individuals are really treating this as if it's the most highest alert that you can receive. Okay. And it's hard for me to sit up here and fathom that the highest level of security didn't know about them going over there to the Capitol. You can't see a mass mob going over to the Capitol. It's no way. I mean, because I'm just looking back at the George Floyd protests, right? I mean, everywhere that they went to protest, it was mountains of law enforcement there, mountains of motherfuckers there. I mean, it was mountains. It was the whole entire forces from forces and forces. But for this Capitol, you have minimal staff. You have minimal security at the perimeter to protect, to serve and protect on that day. That shit is crazy. If it really was to get down to a point where we felt this was actually some type of small army, people don't understand how quickly they would have been dissolved. You know, one thing about the rules of engagement, it always have to factor in whether there are innocent civilians or not. You have to separate the threat from the non-threat. Sometimes the individuals that are non-threatening, they die too. It has happened through past time. It has happened. If you are in a mob of individuals that are storming federal property, and which we found out that a lot of these people did in fact have ammunition and explosives, man-made explosives. Now, how is that happening in our U.S. soil? How are people out here making these explosives, creating these pipe bombs, and doing all this homemade shit without, you know, any type of scrutiny being placed on them, right? I just want to read you a little snippet, right? So far, at least 90 people have been arrested and charged, ranging from misdemeanor curfew violations to felony related to assaults on police officers, possessing illegal weapons, and making death threats against House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi had all these people up in arms. Nancy, you know how many people she's pissed off? But you have a mob of vigilantes there. What would have happened if indeed Nancy would have stayed where she's at and been defiant? What would have happened? We would have had these patriots, so to speak, sit there and have a conversation with her and try to talk it out peacefully, you know, like we're supposed to do. Or they would have thought or believed that they would have went up there and harmed her. Because believe me, I wouldn't want to go back, you know, after being processed in and locked up, and make a phone call to my family and say, you know what, I'm gonna be going away for quite some time. And then they say, for what reason? Well, you know, you heard about that mob that was up there, and what they did to Nancy. And yeah, I was, you know, they're up there telling people, yeah, I was a part of that and all this other shit. And she ended up getting injured, even killed. Do you know how many people are gonna damn go and sit their ass behind bars for that? What was the end state? What was your common goal if Nancy Pelosi would have been there for your accessibility? What would you been able to tell her? Do you think she would have been forced right there on the spot to sign something and it's enacted all because you all came up there in grave numbers, forcing violence? Among them was Lonnie Leroy Kaufman, 70. I repeat, Lonnie Leroy Kaufman, 70, an Alabama grandfather. These are grandfathers now who drove to Washington to attend the Trump Save America rally in a red GMC Sierra pickup packed with, hear me out, packed with M4 assault rifle, multiple loaded magazines, 3 handguns, and 11 mason jars filled with homemade napalm, y'all. Homemade motherfucking napalm. Homemade napalm. And we're talking about security. You have individuals that's making homemade napalm, which was outlawed. They outlawed napalm back then because napalm does not have one of these circumvented kill radius. You drop napalm, everybody that's down there getting burned up. Kids in there, they getting scorched. Adults, it don't matter. You drop napalm, you clearing out the shit. Period. It's burning shit down. But this dude had homemade napalm, y'all. 11 jars of homemade napalm. 11. Not 10, not 5, not 4. He had 11 jars of napalm. Let me move on. The truck was found during a security sweep involving explosives. Sniffing dogs after 2 pipe bombs were found and disarmed Wednesday near the national headquarters of the Republican Democratic Party. Kaufman was arrested that evening when he returned to the truck carrying a 9mm Smith & Wesson handgun and 22 caliber Derringer pistol in his pockets. Federal officials said Kaufman is not suspected of planting the pipe bombs, though he was charged with having Molotov cocktails in the bed of his truck. What? What a privilege. This man had Molotov cocktails in the bed of his truck. Is that the only thing he was charged with? Damn. Headed to DC with I guess this is what he said on social media. I'm not sure. Say headed to DC. Okay, this is where I clipped the article. It's a headed to DC expletive ton of 5.56 armor piercing ammo. Armor piercing, y'all. They're meant to do maximum damage. If you have body armor, these are 5.56 rounds that pierce that body armor that you're wearing to protect yourself. 5.56 armor piercing ammo. He texts friends and relatives on January 6th, adding a purple devil emoji. According to the court filings, the following day he texts to a group thinking about heading over to the Pelosi expletive speech and putting a bullet in her noggin on live TV, end quote. Does that sound like peaceful protesting when these people are basically putting this out on social media and they're not being flagged? No one flagged this dude. No one flagged all the others who was out here, pre-warning us with threats. That's why sometimes, I call bullshit on who wants to be detained and who not. I mean, where's all this going? Where's all this going, man? Where's all the funding going sometimes? This dude is basically telling he wants to ride up there and do what he's trying to do, man. That's unbelievable. He said and wrote he might hit her with his, let me back up. He said speech and putting a bullet in her noggin on live TV, end quote. He once again added a purple devil emoji and wrote, he might hit her with his truck. I'm going to run that expletive Pelosi over with the chews over while she chews on her gum, quote. Dead expletive walking. I predict that within 12 days, many in our country will die, end quote. This sound like peaceful protesting? Real talk, people. This is, politics has never been anything that I care to talk about, just like religion. Politics and religion is one of the same to me. There's so many levels in which a conversation can go on for hours. And then within that conversation, if you don't have two sensible individuals that are educated enough to have patience and to digest each other's opinions as that, then you might have something erupt where it may turn to violence. I'm talking about politics and religion. You have to understand who is the sender and the receiver. You have to have a mature thought process to even talk about politics. And I know people live and die, man. You hear people talking about politics. But look, every time I see someone talking about Trump and supporting, they angry. They're just angry. They agitated. They try to set you up. This is no bullshit, man. When I seen a cat with his cap on, and I'm pushing a cart, and he has his red cap on, and I just looked at the cap in passing, and the dude, stared at me a long period of time to get a reaction out of me, as if I was going to say something about his cap. I don't give a fuck about that cap you got on. I surely don't. But that's just what these people were. They was instigating. They wanted you to say something about a piece of attire that had a message on it. You know what I'm saying? A piece of garment that had or depicted a message on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these people going around turning their heads trying to get people to react to just a small piece of garment. I'm saying to myself, it's bigger than that, man. It's bigger than you walking through the motherfucking store with a hat on and you want attention. They say Meredith, who is white, then text a photo of himself in blackface. This is another. He said, I'm going to walk around DC, FKG, with people by yelling Allahu Akbar randomly. So these people not only was there to incite violence, they was there to basically be instigators of racism and prejudice and racist damn comments and epithets. They was there to influence or encourage it. A participant in the text exchange. A participant in the text exchange provided screenshots to the FBI who tracked Meredith to a Holiday Inn, a short walk from the Capitol. They found a comeback X95 assault rifle, a 9mm Glock 19 handgun, and about 100 rounds of ammunition. 100 rounds of ammunition. The agents also seized a stash of THC edibles and a vial of injectable testosterone. This motherfucker was going to get high, and he was going to make sure his test levels were at the right look. He was going to make sure he had the correct test levels, and his mind was right with the THC edibles. This was a real character right here, but a deadly one. It could have been a deadly one, because obviously he was there with firearms and ammunition to put in work. 100 rounds? Why 100? Why 100? Why just 100? It was too heavy? Why 100? I always tell people, why pack something with you on a payload that you're not used to carrying? Ammunition and all them handguns and firearms and all that, them shits are heavy. So you talking about going over here and you 65, 70 years old and you want to have handguns all over the place and rifles and ammunition, and you're breathing hard because you're tired. But I want y'all to take a look at this, though. I really have to refresh because this is dangerous, y'all. This is extremely dangerous. Yeah, I'm looking at it from a military standpoint. Yeah, I'm looking at it from a civilian standpoint. I'm looking at the fact that we have security, but these people was able to go from a Trump rally over to the Capitol. And really, the message that we receive from soon to be out ex President Trump wasn't something that was meaningful to me. It didn't seem like he was trying to be a mediator. It didn't seem like he was trying to be a voice of reason. It really doesn't seem like he was doing anything except allowing it to play out and hopefully something drastic happen so he can feel like there was redemption. You know what I'm saying? He was in power. He was allowed to have those individuals go over there on his behalf and fight for him. But you see in this video, they really didn't know what was going on. It was too many. Look, they broke off into sections. It wasn't a leader of the squad or the unit. They didn't have a number of individuals in quantity. They really didn't know who was, in this group of people, that group of people. It was just random people that's, busting into the Capitol. Pushing forward with the mob. It's a white female that died at the Capitol. She was crushed. She was crushed. And I believe it. When you have a wild bunch of vigilantes pushing each other, walking over bodies, not even caring to just say, okay, hold up, stop. We have someone down. There's a body down. Let's help him out. No, she was crushed. So now we 48 hours outside this inauguration, man, and some shit might go bad. You have a lot of upset, angry nationalists out here that truly believes that they should lose their life. You know what I'm saying? Over a 4-year president. They obviously believe they should go out here and defend one of the worst that we ever had in office. We have to look past the stimulus checks now. We have to do more than that. We have to be stronger. We have to posture up a little bit differently for this inauguration. We have to be attuned and pay attention. For this, I know. If it would have been me and anybody else, it didn't matter how many times, like I said before, I truly believe we would have met different fate if a lot of those people look like me. I truly believe there will be a lot more to the story of us walking in there and saying we're patriots and on federal property, injuring people. We would have went down for the deaths of everyone. 90 people? It's guys on the video saying, oh, we got millions of people on their way. Knowing that ain't true, but we got millions of people on their way. They were taking pictures, You're going to see the guy, I forgot his name. You're going to see the guy who had the horns on his head and everything up there acting in a cave as a Sumerian. He's really been dwelling in the darkness. He's not really sure what it is to walk around in the daylight and exist as a common human being. He was up there growling and shit and letting off these weird ass sounds. And then he made it down to the floor to take a picture up there and leave a message. But yet he get locked up. He goes on a food strike and say he wants organic food. Now, organic food, this is a dude who's walking around with animal attire on. Politics ain't what I do, but I'm definitely going to touch bases on this and let y'all check out this video right quick, people. Michael Johnson, what's good? What's good? Appreciate you. Salute. Thanks for dropping in. D-Ray in the building. What's good with you? World Combat Sports. Salute. Appreciate y'all dropping in the building, man. 48 hours to until the 46th inauguration, man. And it's a high possibility that we might have violence, man. It's a high possibility that the people that's thinking about going out here, sitting in an open area, it don't matter. It don't matter if you feel you think you should protect it. I always tell you to think back what happened in Vegas. All those people that was at a concert. Think back to what happened in Vegas before you go to this president inauguration. Think about that shit. All the people that was out there having fun, and then they start taking rounds from what they consider a single shooter. A lot of people died that night. Check this out, though. Just walk with me through this now, because I want people to understand if it was a little bit different, what would have happened. Look at this guy. He just feels good to be a part of something. These are vigilantes, y'all. So you always get some redneck dude talking about a fucking million of us out there. If I'm working at the Capitol, I can care less about what's a million. You've breached federal property. Right then, right here, these group of individuals are used to doing a job. Look at the one in the back. He looks scared to death. He's all the way in the back. And from my understanding, these people didn't have no weapons. Look at the sister. The sister don't know what to do. She's on the side by herself. It's three males on the left side, right side as you're looking at it, and it's one woman standing to the left. They have no idea in what to do with a crowd this size. And you have one big mouth up there talking, what are you going to do? It's 4 million of us. See, those individuals right there to the left, those officers, they should be fired. They should be fired. Period. They're knowing some violent shit about to go down on U.S. soil, and they let this one big mouth that's up front. That would have been the first person I take out. I say, so look, listen, this is what we got to do. We have to come to an understanding, me and you. If you're the voice for these people that's here, I would ask that you back up because you're doing this all wrong. Isn't that what they tell people? You're doing this all, you're going about this the wrong way. Relax. It's going to be repercussions and consequences. You're going about this the wrong way. What is your intentions to be here? You all have already damaged U.S. federal property. What are you trying to do? I'm telling you that you cannot proceed any further. Are you going to listen to me and obey my command, or are you going to proceed forward? If he would have said that he's going to proceed forward, I would have at least tried to address him. I say, listen, you cannot move any further. I work here. It is my job to stop the forward progress of you and those individuals with you. I believe your intentions are bad, and I have to enforce what I've trained to do, protect the U.S. Capitol. If he would have kept going on, and if my physical restriction wasn't enough for him, then it would have turned bad. Period. And that's why I would have had to make a decision. I would have had to make a decision right there. Just like that guy made a decision when the lady jumped up in the door when a barricade corridor. He made a decision. See, these people right here, I don't even think they had a firearm on them. So they was like, okay, go ahead. But at least walk up ahead of them and warn the people that you have a mob that's inbound. Just don't let them go and surprise the people. They really should reevaluate. I need to put in the application at the Capitol because these people right here, I want to get in the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not sure what I'm watching here. Every time I watch these videos, you can't just shake your head. You're like, damn. Look at that. Just standing there chilling. That's a female, right? That's a female, right? At least I give her the cajon. Look, I give her the courage. This female is doing her fucking job. I need her on the team. She's putting her left elbow up and she's trying to stop these mob of individuals. She's on the unit. She's getting awarded. Look at them idiots. Shut your ass up.
Guess what? America showed up.
America showed up. You on American soil, but you're trying to say y'all are America? Y'all are America. America showed up. Okay.
Where the fuck are they?
You know what the 45 on the hat mean, right? Where are they? They gave us intel. Where are they?
Let's take a seat, people. Let's take a seat. Nancy Pelosi.
Where the fuck is Nancy? That's what they asking.
No, this is our chair. I agree with you, brother, but it's not ours.
Okay.
It belongs to the Vice President of the United States.
Now we have Goomer. We have Goomer Powell. They're saying, get out the chair. We just look. This dude say, hey, just get out the chair. It's not our chair. That's not your fucking building. We pay taxes, but you have damaged property to get where you're at right now. You're not even authorized to be on the floor. And you're going to say, get out of the chair? That's how clueless and delusional these people were. You coming in here with all this motherfucking Kevlar shit. You don't even have proper payload. And you call yourself the leader? Look at this young muff. This dude is absolutely stupid. The IO war. We can't lose the IO war. It always got one idiot like that with all this damn military shit on and think he's in charge. These dudes have, look at her hat. Look at her motherfucking hat, her hard hat. Look how quick they jump into conclusions. So you got this fat motherfucker up there, right? Everybody's sitting up here just talking shit. Tomorrow, oh, he's gonna sell us out all along. They want something bad to justify why they're there. They want something to have as validation as to why they did what they did. You have no leaders in the group. You have a bunch of wild Indians, and who the hell knows where the chief's at? These individuals aren't leaders or anything. They're in a mass damn mob of people who want to inflict destruction. They want to destroy. They want to make a name for themselves, and they believe without a leader, they will all be able to speak as one and make changes. That it just doesn't go down that way. You're not going to walk up into an area such as the federal government and have all you idiots talking and not expect reinforcements to arrive. Your voice is not going to be heard. But if you don't get your ass out that Capitol, you will be dealt with accordingly. You going up here reading. I don't know who left that that notebook up there. But how heavy is a notebook? How heavy is a binder with information? You could just folded that and took it with you. Anyway, this guy's a leader right here. Look at him going through here. You just reading pages as you just scamming. That just lets me know you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. And you're just combing through pages. You're not even reading shit. You act like you're doing something special. Look at this idiot up here. That's the guy I was talking about with the horns on. What an absolutely dummy. This is not a guy who comes outside too much during the daytime. Look at this guy. They still say that fucking A? God bless him. This guy has camo pants on, jacket. Look at him. Now this guy right here, I commend him for doing his job. He's trying to do his job. At least he's making progress. He's putting forth action and everything else. Now, I wouldn't have been close to these guys with backpacks, hunting jackets on, and this idiot goes up here and take a damn picture. Stupidity gets people killed. He said, now that you've done that, can I get you guys to walk out of this room? And this guy has to leave a message. But he wants organic food in jail. He wants organic food in jail. A matter of time. Justice is coming. You're right. Stay your ass behind bars. Justice is coming for your court date. Okay, Jesus Christ has something to do with this. Just look at the privilege, y'all. It's just the privilege. It's amazing. The privilege to be able to just stand up there with the flag. If my people would have been gathered around, I mean, I'm talking about majority of them being black people. All you would have heard is pop, 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 tear gas in that bitch. I just, it's not something for me to accept. Your white light. Patriots. When these people are delirious, man, they are absolutely demented. Look at all these officers out here, though. Why? Why we would have rushed their ass long time ago, man. Like, military would have rushed their ass long time ago, man. This look like organization, peace. Man, I wonder what fuck the blue means. Somebody tell me what fuck the blue means. It must be a Democratic Republican thing. That's what happens when you don't come entirely prepared for tear gas. That's the best you got. Let's go back in there like idiots. That tear gas, that mace and all that shit, it's not fun. It's not fun at all.
That's all they got. What the fuck? Let's go.
This is peace, right? So now you're destroying property that did nothing to you. What you call proper planning right there. You're sending a message. You're sending an absolute message right there.
I don't know where that is, though. I'm not from here. Start making a list, put all those names down, and we start hunting them down one by one.
Hold up. What did he say? What did he say? He said make a list. So he said make a list. Oh wow.
I don't know where that is, though. I'm not from here. Start making a list, put all those names down, and we start hunting them down one by one.
I wonder if he's locked up yet. Traitors. What did that say? Traitors what?
I don't know where that is, though. I'm not from here. Start making a list, put all those names down, and we start hunting them down one by one.
Traitors to the guillotine. I just need to cogitate that for a second. Traitors to guillotine. To the guillotine. Being that the guillotine has been outlawed, but just to give you an idea of how these individuals' mental frame is pretty much an anachronistic thought process, right? When you have old, hateful individuals like this that believes they're doing America service as patriots, and they're thinking of the old school ways, of how to get something done, the punishment, even though some individuals have punished people that didn't deserve the severity of that. But to say traitors to the guillotine, who are considered the traitors? The one who aren't or will not be pushed to follow your agenda? You calling them traitors? Because to me, that is somewhat like a brainwash of influence right there. Influence is everything. When you want followers, all you have to do is have a message that resonates with more than one person, enough to spread the word, mouth to mouth, conversations, and to bring more people in that believes what you're talking about. Your message has to have a high enough volume. Not just that, but the words need to mean something. And sometimes those words are words of hate. People don't want to hear peaceful shit. When you talk peace, 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 people want to treat you like Dr. Martin Luther King. People get mad and say, fuck MLK because he was all about the peace. But they would embrace Malcolm. It's been like that forever. I'm just using my people. That's all. Some people want you to speak that forcefulness, you know what I'm saying? That aggressive nature. That's what some people live by. That's the only way they can operate if it's physical. They don't know how to properly plan shit out. They can't provide a mental spreadsheet. They have no idea. Traitors to the guillotine. And then, earlier in this video, you had a truck. Hold on for a second. Let me continue this. He said we're at war. So that's why I'm telling people you need to be careful. Hold on for a second. Well, there might have been another video. But I'm going to stop that. But you get my point? With this being the way it is, right? They had a truck that had a makeshift post on it with a noose hanging from it. So, these people are diving back in the way punishment used to be dealt out. Not everybody that was hanging from that noose deserved to be there. Some people did, some people didn't. But they had so many other forms of punishment, back then. And we know a lot of that punishment was, back in the civil rights time. And it goes further even back than that. I mean, it was brutal, archaic punishment that was handed out. Death by hanging, guillotine, firing squad, being gassed, being burned alive. It's so many ways that death was applicable back then. These people are being taught that in this modern era of 2021. People still being taught behind closed doors to hate. These are the type of people that will have these meetings in the backwoods and bring a dead ass motherfucking bear or motherfucking kangaroo up that bitch and hang it. Anything that looks like a human, and they'll set that bitch on fire. And they'll sit up there and get them acclimated to seeing shit burning and the smell, and to get them used to seeing death and the punishment. And even if a carcass is dead, if you was to see it burn, it's still going to give you everything that you want. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes the mentality of a human being cannot separate the two. You can't separate a carcass burning from it already being dead. Some people are going to think it's still alive and it's up there burning to death. And that shit is etched in their thought process. So it only fuels when they go, it only fuels them when they go out here to these events like we see them right now, that's political, and they're still thinking about everything that they've seen. You can take the smallest type of life form. Just give it a body. Just give it a body. That's it. Just tie it to a string. And you want to influence people how tough you are, and what your mindset should be. America is this right here. This is the enemy. And just say you put up a motherfucking animal that's kicking and screaming and shit, and you fire some bullets into it or something, or you set it ablaze, or you torture it or whatever. That shit is gonna stay with these people. That's where you hear them up here saying some old ass antiquated type language, because these motherfuckers have been taught. These motherfuckers have been taught that shit. People want to know. Let me tell you something. When as a kid in the South being bussed out to a white high school down in the South, me and my pops didn't have the best relationship, but I'm glad he understood that it was better once they opened up the bus systems to bus us out to a different school, because the school system we was in, they was missing pages and shit in the textbooks and all that. They wasn't teaching us too much of anything. And I was doing my own thing. I was acting out too. I can't tell you how many elementary schools I went to. I can tell you how many fights I was in, and that was in the city. But when I went out to this school, right, it was majority white at the time. It had some blacks in there. My first day of school, this dude spit dip. He spits this dip on my shoe. And he called me a nigger, right? When we was riding up to the school, you had neighbors just mad that the buses was rolling in, and they had opened up this particular school in their neighborhood, and it changed their neighborhood forever. Now the athletic programs end up turning black. We're talking about basketball, track, football. Well, I'm gonna leave out baseball because brothers weren't playing too much baseball, but you might find one or two, three brothers. But but these neighbors was upset. This was back in 88, y'all. I mean, not 88, 84. This motherfucker spit dip on my shoe and called me a nigga for no reason. And I stood there, I say, shit. Coming from the city, I say, these motherfuckers want fireworks. Seriously. My second week of high school, I had to put hands on a dude. I was suspended. My second week after they started it. I said, no, I can't allow this. This is another incident. And if he listens, he knows who the fuck he is. Real talk. You know who he is. I mean, he knows who he is. This dude swung on me, and I kind of rolled. My face turned to the right, and then the rest I just blacked out. I was like, shit. I commenced to putting hands on this motherfucker, dog. We fought from the classroom into the hallway. But see, down here in the South, people, parents are different. As much as I tried to explain to my parents that, hey, it wasn't my fault, you sending me up here to a predominantly white school, well, it's going to be fights. So don't be mad to the point where you think you got to, you want to discipline. The worst thing a parent did back then, in my opinion, is discipline a child for being in a school where the blacks were still growing in numbers. So we was facing racism. But to have the shit happen while I was in elementary, you still didn't get it. But then to go to high school and get into a fight, and just because I start in 8th grade, you feel like it's punishable. You won't take the belt out. And that's a lack of education. Because you should have educated yourself better for your kids. Your kids aren't trying to come home from experiencing what they're going through at high school and then step through the door for their safe haven. And you want to talk about, okay, you're going to get a whooping for being suspended from school for fighting. You don't supposed to be fighting. I say, well, I didn't have any choice but to fight. Do you know what school I'm in? Do you know what's the percentage of blacks to whites over there? Do you know what we're going through getting off that bus? You've been in the South longer than I have. Do you understand that? And, to get slapped in the face. The South had a lot of growing up to do. Parents have a lot of growing up to do. Because you can't say you want your kid to go to a school for better education, so to speak. And it's predominantly white. And we have to grow and understand one another. But in that process, you have some Southerners that really don't want to see the integration. So they're going to do anything and everything and call you out your name. And you got to defend yourself. You have to. And me and that particular guy, we end up, seeing each other, whatever. It wasn't really seriously cool, but every time he sees me, I know he seen me at a class reunion. He always bring up that day. Because I was like, these motherfuckers out their mind. But anyway, back to the politics. I would truly encourage people to understand that just because you have a group of individuals that's supporting a political agenda and a person like myself or any other person speaks up about it, it's not a black versus white thing. It's just me voicing my opinion about those individuals that's really giving me a different type of vibe of hatred. They're giving me this negative vibe, you know what I'm saying? This darkness. The tip of their arrows are very toxic. So there's really no way I can stand in front of them and say, you know what, I'm going to get something productive or conducive from this. It's not going to happen. They're all about the hate. So I'm going to prepare myself for hate. And that's what these idiots was doing. He said, "Did you hear about the woman trying to sell Nancy Pelosi to the trying to sell Nancy P to the Russians? Trying to sell Nancy P to the Russians. Elaborate that, D-Ray. Oh, her laptop. Man, listen, when you talking about Homeland Security, that's where you find out the informants are everywhere, dog. These people are absolutely. Why wasn't her laptop taken with her? Oh, my fault. We're talking about them basically bombarding her office, right? I got it. I don't look. I understand. I don't put it past them, D-Ray. They're trying to sell a laptop. These are Americans who call themselves patriots. We still have Snowden in Russia that was responsible for one of the largest security breaches ever. And he's trying to get Donald Trump to pardon him before he gets out of office. I haven't heard that Trump did it yet. There might be his only hope. 48 hours remaining. It might be his only hope. Kind of local sports in the building. What's good? Michael Johnson, what's good? Dude yelling Iowa war was the retired colonel. You know what I'm saying? These people who talking about an Iowa war are the same individuals who go to these meetings or these societies. And it's only certain people allowed in there. And I can almost guarantee my assumption that there's not hardly any black people in these meetings. Because if a black person was in these meetings, they will have to prove that they're all about the message and agenda that's going on. Because a lot of people believe that black people are only Democrats. And when we see a black person that's a Republican, it's all out freaking vitriol. We're out to castigate that individual to the lowest form. You're a Republican? What? I was just in the shop the other day, man, where it was all out. Forget the professionalism. It was an all out freaking argument because a guy said that he didn't vote for Biden. You know, one of the brothers asked him back then, so who did you vote for? He said, I didn't vote for Biden. He said, so who did you vote for? I didn't vote for Biden. He asked him again, who did you vote for? I want to hear a name. He said, I told you, it's simple process of elimination. I didn't vote for Biden. So you saying you vote for Trump? So the dude happened to be in the barbershop. See, I'm just putting all this shit together by listening. And it was an all-out motherfucking verbal war up in there. He said, this motherfucker, he was up here telling me back then that he voted for, and these cats know each other for a while. But as we found out, this election has pretty much severed relationships. Severed friendships. Because it's a lot that cannot be understood. You have certain blacks that will sit up here and they have their understanding of why they're Republican and why they're supporting Trump. And they will break that shit down to the best of their intellectual ability, right? They would try to just give you that form of understanding. This is what I know. This is what my education is, my political education, and this is how I'm going to address you about it. They will have that shit flowing off their tongue, boom, 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 boom. But you have to be attentive enough to be able to respond to these individuals. It's all about the person who's leading. That might be a good person. But most of the times when it came to a black person who was supporting Trump, I haven't seen a peaceful conversation consistently. I haven't seen it. I just heard the verbal sparring. I seen the finger pointing. I seen a whole lot of mannerisms that would, to me, seem aggressive in nature. It was just a lot of shit that no one can say it was a peaceful dialogue. It was just animosity back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That shit ain't gonna never go anywhere, man. But what we can say as the people, Through all the protests of George Floyd, over 50 states, the businesses and lives that was lost during these protests. You remember at one point in time, we was on the news looking at this every freaking day. We was looking at people riot. We was seeing them running through the streets. I've seen it down in the South. I was there. I'm looking, listen to me, with no offense to anybody, right? As an older man, right, who served, I'm looking at these younger millennials walking the street because they wasn't marching. They was walking. When the officials was protesting, they was marching because they had a common cause. When the officials down here march, the public officials. But when I went to the one protest, right, I seen these millennials flicking off the local law enforcement. These motherfuckers was light in the motherfucking ass, y'all. They had to be weighing about 119. You had to be weighing 122 pounds with 2 rolls of nickels in your pocket. And they up there putting up the state troopers and local peace officers. These motherfuckers did not care. Now here, 12 is law enforcement. They were saying F12 and all this other shit, knowing that nothing was going to be done because we was protesting. But the way they went about it, these are individuals who are there to serve, there to circumvent any type of negative energy or destruction. You know what I'm saying? There's prior veterans, there's peace officers and law enforcement. And really, you know, it was a lot going on during these protests. To have that finally subside, you know, a little bit, you know what I'm saying? With everything, like people's lives, their businesses and everything was just taken away, some of them, burned to the ground. To come to this right here at the president election, and to have this happen on our own soil, I'm pretty sure some foreign dignitaries and presidents looking at this like, I said this before, I dare y'all to try that shit over in China. I dare you. I dare them to try that shit over in China. Try that shit in Russia. It's no going back home to your family. They will pick your ass up and you're dead. They don't give a fuck about your kids. They ain't giving a shit about nothing. Try that in China and you disappear. Try it in Russia, you disappear. Try it in Korea, you're done. Hey, the last text we received from John Elmore was that he was going to storm the Capitol. There was a short text immediate following once the rioters was removed from the Capitol, and this particular individual sent another text saying, I'm on my way back home. He never arrives home. Months go by. The shit will be fucking different. I've been in these foreign countries, man. There's a whole different energy, unlike you will believe. No cap. I don't put anything on my son who passed. I don't put anything on any relatives. I don't do all that. You just have to take it for what it is, bro. When I was riding up, we was in a van full of 3. We was going up there to the DMZ. And this is the base where no females are allowed. And we was just going up there to visit. I mean, it was a military like visit. And I heard so much about the military zone, DMZ, the bridge of no return, the freaking gully of that place. It is so freaking, it's a part of the world that you say to yourself, damn, there's no way that I can live up here. it's almost like a dead space in life. You see North Korea to the left, South Korea to the right. And you're going up there, you go on base and shit, and you have to go up to the main headquarters like they have security ready to fuck you up. It wouldn't have been no breach, no doors over there in South Korea. You're dead. Motherfucker would have been looking out the window, say, oh, for real? Hey, open up that. Everybody, put your gear on. They come past that point because these individuals, these foreign military leaders, they have demarcation lines to protect them. They have demarcation lines, right? And anybody of a hostile nature breach that line right there. It's no talking. It's no hold up, wait. We here for the IO war. We come in peace, but violence. It's up to you. It's none of that shit. It's none of that. They're firing on your ass. It's a bloodbath. They will not play with you over there in these foreign countries. TJ in the building, what's good, man? IB, what's good, what's good? WCS, you're a vet. How do you feel about kneeling for the anthem? I put it like this. As a veteran, people don't know you're a veteran. People don't know that you're a veteran. So if I kneel for the anthem, it should be my right to kneel. Now, it's a good question that you bring up, kneeling before the anthem as a veteran, right? Because let me tell you something that happened when I was with my son. When this shit was getting all rowdy and it was popping off, and you know, certain people was looking at certain people had their hand over their heart, and I had my fist in the air for solidarity, you know, for peace. You know what I'm saying? And certain things I've experienced. So being down here in the South, once the anthem was over, I'm with my son, right? I hear this individual saying some fuck shit, right? And they had a problem with me putting my hand up in the air, not over my heart. And the first thing that comes out their mouth is try to question, am I American or not? You know what I'm saying? And this is what I told the female. I said, the only reason I didn't kneel is because there's not enough space. You're un-American. I say, for real? And then my son trying to say, no, don't do it. You know, stay out of this. Don't tell her nothing. So I allow these individuals to go off because I don't wear military shit. I don't go around wearing retired Marine cap on my head. So I let this woman get off talking about how un-American I am. And I say, so tell me this, what makes you American though? What makes you American and beyond? What have you done to say, you know what? I'm one of the best citizens and patriots that you can ever. You're talking about I'm un-American. So what makes you American? How do you justify that in life? Well, I respect the flag for once. That's how she sounded. I'm not bullshitting. I say, respect the flag? Have you ever sacrificed? Has anybody that you know died under the nation's umbrella? Anybody that you know? Have you looked into the eyes of somebody you knew come off from outside the wire with bullets in them, bleeding? Are you an individual that is allowed to have blood that goes to anybody, to donate blood to help somebody potentially live? Have you did that? Nobody's talking about all that technical shit. We're talking about the flag. I say it is. It's about the flag, ma'am. You're up here trying to embarrass people when I'm a 20-year vet. I'm retired. And see, the look that comes over their face then, they want to look at the man who's been sitting there. You can tell the bitch in the household, right? She'll look over to a man and say, damn, I was fucking with this dude with his kid. But for me, If you was with your kid, I wouldn't have said shit anyway. I would have gave you that common respect because you with family. But now that I inserted that I did serve, she want to look her man and then say, you know, you can get to the point where, damn, you know what's going to happen at halftime. You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen at halftime? You know, my son say, hey, you think she's going to say anything else? I say, yeah, she's going to say something because she feel like shit. And sure enough, halftime came up. She want to come and bring her ass down there and apologize. I said, no, fuck you and get the fuck out my face. You know why? Because being a military vet does not validate who I am as a human being. You're not going to sit up here and just try to drag me, embarrass me in front of my kid. Just talk that shit just because I basically saluted the flag different than you did. But yet when you hear I'm a vet, you want to turn and act like, oh God, I feel bad. Like Kevin Hart. Oh God, I feel bad. I was dogging this man out and he's a retired vet. Oh God, that shit happens a lot, especially here in the South. A motherfucker dog you out and they have all their patriot shit on and they be quick to tell you, I served. And anybody who kneels at the flag is disrespecting our coring country. Seriously? It's been so many people that bled for this United States flag. No one should be getting mad at an athlete as Colin Kaepernick, who was told by a military vet that it would be better for you to take one knee instead of sitting on your ass. It would be more respectable to the public for you to take a knee there, Colin, instead of sitting on your ass back here doing the anthem. Because a knee, as Tim Tebow used to do, is him basically gesturing a symbolism of prayer, and he's thankful to God and everything, right? And he used to do this a lot. But when Colin Kaepernick did it in peaceful protest, not until motherfuckers was out here dying for George Floyd, well, they wanted to give Colin Kaepernick recognition. The man kneeled, and he was blackballed from the NFL. Colin Kaepernick kneeled. If Scotty White kneels, that's what Scotty White chose to do. It means absolutely nothing in how, you know, I'm disrespecting. You have people with their hands in their pocket. You have motherfuckers talking during the anthem. You have had things removed from the anthem. Everybody have their own little way of signifying what the anthem means to them. But I'll be damned, I sit up here and be denigrated by somebody, right? And then you say, well, you're wrong about one thing. You know, I actually served and I am retired. And their facial expression just turn and people looking at them like, oh, but I'm like, the people that's looking on, I'm like, fuck you too. Because I'm like, you didn't even do anything to stop it. You did absolutely nothing to stop the harassment. You just sat there and you felt like, oh, I'm gonna let them get that off because yeah, he had his hand in this, that, and the other. Hand in the air don't mean black power. It means a lot of things. Peace for my people. And when you say my people, people just take my people, those two words, as if it has something to do with being pro anything in life doesn't mean it's full of hatred. You have the right to believe in who you are as a person. If you understand your history and what you went through, the struggle, just because I don't get up here and make, commit lives and talk about everything that I experienced growing up, all the racism and freaking derogatory freaking comments that was made towards me. The discontent I had towards my parents because they was here in the South, but didn't quite understand they need to educate themselves. Experiencing racist principles that was calling you nigger when your parent wasn't around. and then will come get you out of the classroom for an incident, and they've already spoken to your parents who haven't even spoken to their kid. You haven't even spoken to your kid. I could imagine beating my kid ass without speaking to them and finding out their side of the story, y'all. I couldn't. I've never did that shit. You know why? Because I was taught from what my parents did. From a principal that would be calling you nigger, calling your parents and telling you did something, is it okay to paddle them? I grew up where the principal was still allowed to paddle you. You get called up to the office, I call your parents, and I told them what you did. You was playing around in the hallway, and they said it was okay for me to give you 5 strokes of the paddle. I'm looking at myself, not my parents. What? They agreed to this racist motherfucker to give me a paddling? And I'm not gonna lie to you, that really pushed me. I was acting out because I couldn't understand how, individuals can go to church all the time and put religion, but yet you couldn't protect your family. And this motherfucker will paddle you and shit. He's not even your father. And he's paddling you off some racism. And he's already called your parents and told them this bullshit ass lie, parent, and told them this bullshit ass lie. And they said, I want to ask your permission to just give him a minor paddling to remind him of how disciplined he should be in the school. Is that okay? So the first couple of times that shit happened, I go and I get home, I'm mad. I say, hey, did you give the principal permission to strike me? Yes, he said you was doing this, that, and the other. And who are you to question me? I say, but I have to question you because you didn't even ask my side of the question. Did you know he called me a nigger? Well, you're in the South. You need to learn how to understand that that's going to happen. You can't react to it. I said, what? I'm saying, what? I know. At that point in time, I said, I know I ain't making it out of school. But I have to give them understanding and listen to me. I guess the pain that I had, I'm like, hey, you can't sit up here and listen to these principals like that. They telling y'all some bullshit and they're abusing your kid. And I'm gonna tell you, you cannot say that I want to come home after getting paddled by a racist ass principal, and then you telling me I'm getting a whooping too when I get home. And that happened. That happened here in the South. A lack of education from a poor, strained environment. But let me tell you this though. As I talk about the racist shit here in the South, I gotta, I always gotta hold my people accountable too. And I'm gonna move on to this subject. But this we need to work on with ourselves though. When I just told you what I learned growing up, not to believe just one individual's voice, because that individual may be upset in one way or the other. Let me tell you 2 incidents. And one I have on audio. I still have on audio this day to my phone. You had a teacher who put my son outside on the floor, who cannot eat ice cream, right? Lactose intolerant, right? She was serving ice cream in her room, and she brings and put a cup on his desk, and then she said, eat your ice cream. He said, no, I don't want to eat my ice cream. He said, eat your ice cream. No, I cannot eat my ice cream. I don't like ice cream. She picks him up aggressively and places him outside on the floor, and just has him sitting out there on the floor. Just has him sitting on the floor, all because he wouldn't eat ice cream. And I called myself putting my son in one of the best schools supposedly in the district. So I go up there to talk. And here I am, 6'3", walking in through the door in peace. They don't know anything about me. So I want to speak to the teacher. And before the conversation can go anywhere, they want to call the school service officer in there. I haven't even really said anything. I said, I just want to know what's the deal with him being on the floor for ice cream. Do you know that he's allergic to ice cream? He cannot eat it. But you put him on the floor, the dirty ass floor, all over ice cream. Not the fact that he didn't do his homework. Anything, you put him on the floor. And then, and this is the one thing they want to say. Some of these motherfuckers want to say, right? Hey, sir, hold on. And I look, what you have to say? Well, it just seems like I say, oh, I know it. I grew up here in the South. I know what you're about to say. It seems like you're getting a little bit aggressive, right? It seems like you're overbearing. Let her talk, right? The whole time she's been talking and she's not getting that feedback. She keep on probing. Her voice is loud. I say, so the whole thing, I just want to know about my son being on the floor. Are you apologizing? No. Why should I apologize? He answered me rudely. I said, he probably told you, no, I don't need ice cream because you're trying to force something on him that can potentially make him sick. And to be in there advocating for my son, but yet have another individual walk on deck, and the first thing he wanted to do, oh shit, we got a 6'3" black dude up in here. We got a 6'3" black dude in here. We get awareness. We need to make sure we have enough backup. So therefore, I had to look at the situation and talk to my son and apologize to him and potentially move him out that school, because obviously it was too many white people in there from the South that wanted to run things their way. That's just me. I'm just talking from my experience. Then second, to keep it very dense on the shit that popped off down here in the A, right? In the South at that point in time. Well, you have a parent attempt to take out a belt and whoop your ass over something a teacher has called them about. They're not even willing to understand that they need to educate themselves before they're attempting to destroy everything you're trying to learn about life. They haven't even educated themselves yet. These motherfuckers haven't even educated themselves. They just all about parent after parent want to pull out a strap. Back when I was growing up, your neighbor can pull out a damn strap and whoop your ass. But for a parent to receive a phone call, these individuals had it in the system where they could call your parents easily and tell them a lie. And they wait till you leave home on the bus. So when you get home, you have to meet your parent and say, what was this going on in school? You did this. I said, what? It didn't even go down like that. This, and this happened. I didn't get in trouble. I didn't get any punishment, but the teacher called me. It wasn't no time out when I was growing up. It was whoop your ass. Go in your room. So when go in your room means go in your room and don't come out. But see, me, I grew up where my mom and my dad whoop ass. It wasn't no breather. But this is the one thing I hated, people. At this point in time, this is the one thing I hated. Hear me out on this. This is the one thing I fucking hated. When I walk into a school of sisters, and sisters love for you to refresh their memory to how educated they are, right? And my son, at this point in time, he had grown up a little bit more, and it was parent-teacher conference, and they telling me about a situation they had where, he didn't do the assignment correctly, and he was supposed to tell me, And he didn't. And I said, okay. So they're talking to me. They say, well, what did you do to your son for not telling you? Did you remind him? These are the sisters talking to another black man who's obviously not 20 years old, right? Obviously, I got some age on me. I say, yeah, I talked to him. I talked to him. He said, and did he tell you about when he did this? I said, yeah, he did. See, now I already caught on, so I'm not going to tell you he didn't. I'm going to tell you he did. I said, yeah, he did talk to me. So she commenced to say, well, what did you do about it? I said, so I need to tell you how I disciplined my son. So when I said that right there, it just went left, period. And this was a room of 3 black women. This is what we have to stop between ourselves of thinking that we need to continue to whoop our kids' ass over every fucking thing. Because we got a lot more to worry about outside them doors. You know what I'm saying? So she looks and she says, well, I'm not trying to overtalk you or anything. I just want to know, what was the discipline? I say, that's between me and him behind closed doors. It's family. It's just not an area that I need to explain to you. That's it. And that's all I got to say about it, really. And then this other sister's like, whoa, sir, you're just overboard. I said, why am I overboard? You came in here looking all serious. I said, it's a parent-teacher conference. I don't even know you. This is my first time meeting you. So I don't know you. Of course, I'm here for my son to see what you have to say. I'm not here to sit up here and make you seem like I'm trying to holler at you. I came up here seriously. I'm listening. I'm listening to know what you want to say about my kid, and that's it. But these women was trying to basically bond together for the wrong reason. Listen, these black kids out here have enough to worry about. They need to be educated to avoid situations that's going on, like them vigilantes that's going on that's all about the politics and shit, and then wear the hats and wear the memorabilia, and then they want to start up an argument, and your kid might be uneducated to know what politics is truly about or why they're so angry. You have to educate your kids. You have to kind of digress from whooping their ass off everything and educate them about how society is right now, how to approach. There's certain situations where you shouldn't then respond and say, fuck it, I'm done, I'm walking away. And in certain situations, you need to stay your ass right there and make sure there's a resolution in place so you won't get shot. Because when your kids are in the South, or you in the South, you have to have that understanding, man. Anyway, that's the South shit, though. This shit that we see is coming up. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't the one that voted for Joe Biden. I didn't vote for Donald Trump. Because neither one of those guys are somebody that I look to as being president. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't vote for either one of them. I'm just keeping it 100. I did not vote for any one of them. But the one who is called the most havoc is the one that's about to be out the door, the one that's about to be, relieved of his duties, the one that has already said he would not be on deck for the inauguration. And I look at that in many ways. I look at that as being a possible pre-warning of a second line of offensive threats that may be inbound. You can never cut it short. But for that many people to be at a rally of his and then go over to the U.S. Capitol and cause so much damage of federal property, and when laws was some lives was lost in that particular modified so-called protest, marching on the Capitol or whatever, them people should be held accountable. And there's no way you're gonna tell me it's just 90 people that's locked up right now if they're still in jail. Because look, this is taxpayers' dollars too. So they're going to attempt to minimize it. Not everybody has the same pay scale amongst them people. It's some individuals that make pretty good money a year that's able to afford legal representation. And they're going to try their damnness to minimize the charges so they can get their ass up out of jail. D. Hodges in the building. What's good, man? He said, yep, I said the same thing about Tebow. You know, Tebow was praised for the way he went about it. You know, Tebow was in prayer. He was a religious type dude. They called him a square. You know what I'm saying? They called Tebow a square because he was celibate. You know what I'm saying? They did. But see, Colin Kaepernick, let's say he potentially lost millions, but he won a lawsuit and whatever else he got from that lawsuit. But, you know, when it comes down to it, the man was a professional NFL player. You know what I'm saying? He was an NFL football player who took a knee, and then you heard individuals and owners and coaches. You know, you heard Jerry Jones say, anybody kneeling on my team, they out of a job. You know, that's that do it if you want to plantation type of shit. You had some players who took a knee and they was fired and they was gone. You know what I'm saying? By association. They felt like the protest was something that they wanted to go about, and they felt there was justification for it, so they did it. But nobody really talk about Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch used to sit back down the bench doing the anthem and sit down and eat and do what the hell he wanted to do. No one said nothing. But just because, you know, Kaepernick made it a point to bring his message to the forefront as to what he was protesting, they didn't like that. So when this shit came out about George Floyd and people's like, oh, we should apologize. After 50 states has been rioted and protests and people losing their lives and businesses and their life savings and everything else, now we should give Colin Kaepernick an apology. It takes buildings to be burned to the motherfucking ground. It takes lives lost. It takes everything, repercussions and consequences off an individual who felt it was cool in Derek Chauvin to place his knee on another human being's neck until he felt no pulse. He felt no movement. He felt no matter what the camera was saying, he was going to be able to get himself out of that. Now, I wasn't a George Floyd supporter. I never knew the guy. He did have a record. It's not for me to judge, but he wasn't a perfect individual. Nobody is. But for his name, along with Breonna Taylor and plenty of other people that passed away, to cause a mass protest of some individuals that was legitimate protesters and others was just agitators that go out here across the motherfucking country and protest and ruin people's lives. Some was innocent bystanders. It was just incredible for them to come back, revert back to who did it peacefully. Colin Kaepernick did this shit peacefully. And he was ostracized for it. You know what I'm saying? Colin Kaepernick was ostracized for peacefully protesting. But these individuals who's calling themselves patriots, I've ran into them down here. See, the one thing about organizers like this, they're always going to show you a tattoo. That tattoo is going to be somewhere visible. Like the 3%ers. When I had to have something maintenance in my home, right? It's a white guy showed up. I mean, just a maintenance dude. But I'm out here, you know, of course you're in the house, I'm checking it out. And like Jeezy say, eat, shit, or sleep without my motherfucking pistol. So I'm here and I see that he has a pistol on him. Right? I said, okay, you're going to do maintenance with a pistol on you. But I had one too. And then I'm looking at he's doing the work, and I see the 3% shit on tattoo on him. So he's up there. It's just me and him. It's just me and him. My son's at school. Just me and him, one-on-one. I said, hey, tell me this. What does the 3% stand for exactly? I just want to know in short form. Like, I see you got the tattoo on the back of your hand for everybody to see. Like in the wintertime, it cannot be covered up. You know what I'm saying? It's on their hand unless they have gloves. He said, oh, we just really fight for our Second Amendment rights. You will hear so many of these people always talking about Second Amendment. WCS, those who support, understand where I'm coming from with this shit, right? I don't really care about the huge numbers of people, but as long as the ones that's in here listening. Let me tell you about the Second Amendment here in the South. I open carried, and I already knew what the law was. I open carried to pick my son up. And in the process of getting out my vehicle with a pistol on my hip, at no time did I enter the school, because you cannot enter a school with a pistol, even open carry. You cannot. But you can come on school grounds if you're picking up your kid. Before I knew it, it's motherfucking 8 units in this bitch. These motherfuckers will call. They will call their law enforcement on you quick, dog. So I'm standing out there. I ain't running. I'm standing out there with a pistol on my hip, waiting for the kids to get out. And this white chick come and touch me on the arm. I said, the audacity for her to come touch me. She wasn't in law enforcement. She worked at the school. So I was like, why you touching me on my arm? Law enforcement here. You don't supposed to have that weapon on school property. I said, you need to let go of my arm. And I snatched my arm away, right? So this other female man was angry. I have never met her in my life. She comes over, get off the property. You're a danger. So the units start rolling up. Listen, I got at least about 8 motherfuckers around me, right? And we're talking, we're communicating. I say, listen, I'm in my right. They always talking about Second Amendment, right? These people, these patriots, so to speak. I'm within my right. Do you mind if we just secure the weapon? I say the weapon is secured. It's in my holster, goddammit. The holster is my security. But what y'all doing is outside of my security. And I'm talking to men right now. So this chick rolls up. Shit is already in play. Like they're talking, asking me questions, my name and this, that, and that. So I'm waiting for my son to come out, this, that, and the other. The chick comes up here and say, hey, hold up. She started that shit. I wasn't even talking to her. She wasn't even part of the conversation. She starts coming up there trying to prove to the fellas that she is the one and only HBIC. So she comes up there and say, hold up, watch your hands. And I'm looking at her, I say, for real? I say, you 15 minutes late to the party. And even one of the other officers looked at her like, what are you doing? Why are you jumping over here in something that's, you see how many people up here already? Why are you trying to instigate a situation? They said, can you step with us around the corner? I said, around the corner says who for what? What am I going to step around the corner for? I'm good right here. So listen, y'all, I can't make this shit up. By then, my son comes out of the school and I tell him to stand over by the wall. The same female that was deranged early attempted to snatch my kid up and take him back into school. She attempted to separate my kid from me. She wasn't even freaking in the situation. She attempted to separate my kid from me. I said, I told the law enforcement, I said, I'm not going anywhere. My kid is out. Are y'all finished? Because you can't arrest me because I'm within my right. So I get my kid and I walk to my vehicle and they're walking with me. I get to the vehicle. They said, can we see your, what do they want to see? Oh, they wanted to see the law. Where I got that on. I said, oh, cool. I carry it. Boom. I turn. This is just Georgia freaking law. Up to date. I give it to the guy. It's still like 6 or 7 cats around me, right? I say, right there. Look at that. Let's say about school property. You can open carry. As long as you don't enter the school, you can go on school property. And when you're picking and dropping off your kid, you can open carry. You can. No ticket, no nothing. No ticket, no nothing. Went on about my business. So the guy called me up, say, well, I did my other research on it and you can't carry it. I said, yeah, you can. And that conversation was over. I said, you can't sit up here and tell me that you have people sitting up here talking about their Second Amendment right, but it doesn't include black carriers, black firearm owners. You can't say that. And he was black. He was black. You can't sit up here and make it okay. Because if I walk in Walmart and I'm open carrying, people look at you different. I've seen it. People look at you different. Like, what? What is he open carrying for? They look at you like it's an option. Like you have the license and shit, but you shouldn't be open carrying. But another guy coming there with a rifle strung over his belt with hunting gear on, people's like, oh shit, what do you got there? Oh, wow. What type of ammo you using? They'll start the whole damn conversation. But me, I walk in there with the Jordans on. You know what I'm saying? Dress for the occasion. It's just some, if you dress like you about to head out to the club and you got a pistol on your hip, people look at you like, something ain't right. Something ain't right here. Karen, come here, Karen. Does something look suspicious about that guy? I'm serious, man. I'm joking about it, but that's the look that you get. Motherfuckers will look at you and they be like, no Second Amendment here. It looks like a robbery, a pending robbery. I'm serious, man. In the South, they give you that look. They make you uncomfortable as shit to open carry. Cats be coming up there with full mag, 30 clip. First thing they get asked, oh wow, beautiful weapon. What type of optic is that? Oh wow. Is that the lightweight mags? Oh, cool. I see you changed out the butt stock on it. And the front sights. Wow, you got the laser sights on there, huh? Oh man, that's unbelievable. What did you get that from? Century Arms? Oh wow. Unbelievable. How you like the recoil on it? The recoil is good? Barely any recoil, huh? Just she's smooth as she can be, huh? I'm telling you, man. I walk up there with a motherfucking rifle, dog, with a 30 clip in that. I mean, come on, man. Motherfuckers like, hold up. Halt. Halt. Where do you live? You from here? Halt. Why do you need a weapon so big just to walk in here and shop? Why? I'm serious, y'all. Anyway, let me chill. Yeah, man. Look, I'm telling you, bro, you walking there with some fresh J's, right? But you got a pistol on your hip. They saying, that doesn't look right. You need some boots. You need some all-terrain shoes on. You need something that if you're ready to low crawl or something, you're not worrying about scuffing them up. They really try to take you out your element. But don't believe this Second Amendment. Second Amendment for everybody. And, I really wouldn't suggest people to think it's okay to go up here after all what you've seen. And listen, let's not forget COVID-19 hasn't went anywhere. So you want to go out there when it's cold as shit up there in DC. It's cold as shit out there. You better make sure you dress right. You think it's cool to go out there with what just happened at the Capitol just for an inauguration because you think it's paramount? Don't do it. A lot of people a lot of people will show up anyway, and this is why. Because we're about to have the first female VP ever. Something that people believe Hillary Clinton would be the first to do. But it didn't happen, right? So Kamala Harris, it will be the first female VP. It's a lot of men that are totally against a woman serving in that position. Because anything happened to Joe Biden, she is the one in charge. Anything happened to Joe Biden, it's going to be some people that's mad at him more than they was mad with Obama. You know what I'm saying? It's some people that's saying, why? Why did you choose a woman to be your VP? There's not any qualified men out here. Why would you do that? Why would you do this? Our nation is failing because of you. You chose Kamala Harris to go up here and be a woman VP. A woman is not fit to lead, in quote. That's what they're going to say. So let's see what all these people that's talking all this shit online about the inauguration. And talking about they're willing to die. Some of these people are saying they're willing to die. Like, you're willing to die for who exactly? You willing to die for what exactly? And I'm not gonna lie. That's a lot of older cats out here talking this bullshit. They're willing to die. Gotcha. Stay your ass at home. That's all I'm saying. Just stay at home, chill. Don't attend. You still have COVID-19 out here. You still have unrest out here. If it's unrest is going on, especially when it comes to politics, there's individuals that's out here that are organizing for execution. They're organizing potentially individuals who just don't care, believe they have nothing to lose, and they're willing to go out here and set the example. Seriously. Now, the good thing about it, they're going to have mass security. But we just don't know if it's anything other than that. Like, the first woman that will have a seat at the White House is huge in proportion. But there's certain individuals, a lot of thinking minds out there that never want to see something like this happen. Never, ever want to see anything like this happen. They're mad. Forget what Obama was able to do for aid. Forget that. We're talking about changing genders now in a leadership position. That, to a lot of people, haven't sat well. There's a lot of male, I would say, male chauvinistic individuals that believe that leadership seats like this should only be ran by men, should only be the authority of a man. So they're going to be mad. I hope it's peaceful, though. I really hope, it's peaceful and everything. And them individuals that call themselves patriots, I really hope they dealt with effectively, because they wasn't no way, shape, or form coming in peace. They destroyed the lives of individuals who they influenced. The lady that passed was blown away from hopping her ass through that window when she knows she wasn't supposed to. She died with full justification. Full justification. I know people back in her town was trying to paint that patriot shit on her and heroism. But look, she broke the law, man. She was in there attempting to breach a perimeter she was attempting to breach a perimeter which was barricaded. And also, on top of being barricaded, it was an armed security security officer that was working for the U.S. Capitol, did what he was supposed to do. There's not going to be any punishment rendered for him or handed down for him. It's no way. It's not even lawful for them to even consider punishing that guy. They should award him. They should award the female that was down there putting her arm up, talking about, get off me. Y'all don't supposed to be on here. They should award the one, partially that was on the floor and saying, y'all have to leave. They didn't listen to him because he wasn't armed. But if he would have goddamn double tapped somebody, even in freaking goddamn leg, say, now y'all listening? Because I told y'all plenty of times to get up out of here. We'll have put some hot shit in him to the point where say, oh shit, he ain't playing. Let's get the fuck up out of here. You already breached security. So y'all up there taking selfies and stuff, man, get the fuck out off the floor and leave the building. It's that motherfucking simple. My goodness. But man, I'll be back on later. I just had to come on and do my last political live. Well, I'll take that back. It depends on how it goes. You know what I'm saying? It depends on how the inauguration goes today. 48 hours from today. It depends on how that goes. You know what I'm saying? The 46th president, Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? You have Wednesday will be on deck, and you have what will change our history again. It's been a lot of changes in the presidential seat. But now, you go from Obama being Obama being superseded by Trump, and him doing only 4 years and being impeached for a second time, to now Joe Biden and Harris. So therefore, this is huge on large proportions, because when it comes to politics, you have an individual in Joe Biden that was in the administration already. He was there. Biden has been a part of the administration before. Now he gets to move in again. These last 4 years, people, I'm not going to lie to you. These last 4 years has been horrendous. It's been life-changing, man. This was chaos of civil unrest, basically cultivated by an individual that possessed the position of authority. He was able to go out here and carry out certain calls and place certain orders out there to the people. And he really influenced a lot of people to do bad. You know what I'm saying? He really did. You're talking about the one that was on The Apprentice to now. It's like night and day. Because you know how many people I seen sit next to him and gave him all the kudos and the exploits, and lauded him and just praised this man before he took office. And he came into office, it was just wicked. It was the most wicked 4 years I've ever experienced from a president in life. Even the ones who sent the troops to war, they wasn't as wicked as he. Because what he did was bring the war to Garrison, our home soil. That's what he did. How's that wall going? That's what I want to know. How's that wall looking? Did they ever finish the wall? Was the wall ever finished? Because we stopped hearing about the wall. This man wanted to put all that funding into the wall. Now the funding is basically projected towards the stimulus relief. Wherever we would get that again. You know, they just sent out the second one. Then they're talking about around December. We're about to end January, but they're talking about, Biden is talking about potentially sending out another one in December. And look, the magical process of what the people believe is a present, which it is. Because if you release the stimulus around December, it's going to be spent and placed and injected back into the economy. It's the holiday season. People are going to spend money and put it back into the economy. I mean, you talk 11 months for us, 10 months for us to receive a third stimulus when there's still millions unemployed. It's rough, bro. It's rough, man. I appreciate that, TJ. I appreciate that, man. But yeah, y'all hang around, man. It's going down Wednesday. May everything work its way out, you know, with all the safety measures and everything. And hopefully these next 4 to 8 years, you know, first the 4 years in a recovery state, place us back in place us back in stability economically for us to function, you know, for us to get back into gaining employment to support their families. You know what I'm saying? To basically put this vaccine out. I really don't know what the vaccine is about. Like, we have what the quantities like, what exactly we put into our bodies. And, you know, and they're talking about a mutant strand of COVID has made it here from Russia. I'm like, what are you talking about? Now we're mutating strands of the COVID-19. They won't stop. You have people in laboratories that sit up here trying to create and act like they're trying to finish a panacea. But only thing they're trying to do is create another pandemic. Forget the panacea. They're trying to keep the funding coming in. In order for them to keep the funding going in, they have to make sure the numbers ebb and flow. The COVID-19 numbers, they have to keep them motherfuckers fluctuating so they can keep that funding and people get paid. So they're in the lab creating different strands of COVID-19. Next, they say we're gonna be on the brink of another shutdown. So what place are they planning on? Because they're talking about opening up some of these facilities. What next? We have thousands of people who pass. So they say, thousands of people, but I just don't know if I can tell you who was it. Like, did these people have pre-existing conditions? I mean, I just can't tell you one person that I say, you know what? I knew that dude. I knew her. They died of COVID. Wow. All I hear is so-and-so passed. Or what? COVID. What? Okay. I don't know, man. But this vaccine shit, no one knows anything about the vaccine shit, man. It could be a motherfucking damn a Sprite for all we know. It can be tonic water for all we know. Spritz. Shit. It can be alkaline water for all I know. It can be rubbing alcohol. I mean, when are the vaccines going to hit the regional areas? You know, I mean, when would we expect that? I'm pretty sure after he takes office, I'm pretty sure, you know, he's going to come out with some shit and give us a timeline on what we're doing with this COVID-19. All right. But that's all I got for the political side of the house. I just had to go up here and, you know, keep these people informed, you know, and give them their highlight for being idiots. And all of them that was there, that was basically ransacking the place, taking money out the taxpayers' pockets for damaging federal property, they should be dealt with accordingly. They should be punished. And it shouldn't be something giving them 15 days of probation. Because then you're saying you're basically reiterating a standard that we have already tried to stop anyway. Now you're saying, oh, if you have a large enough mass of individuals who scream and yelling the same type of bullshit, then maybe indeed they was protesting. So we give them the benefit of the doubt. No, they weren't. They was tearing shit up. You know what it is. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports.
What up? It's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you're tuned into World Combat Sports.